What's good, gamers? It's GameXA again, and today we're sifting through the news to grab up 3 nuggets of Nintendo news stories. But real quick, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would help out the channel by smashing the like button, and thank you to those that do. So first story is about the father Super Smash Bros. Entering semi-retirement, and we're reading from the videogameschronicles.com. The title here is Smash Bros. Director Masahiro Sakurai says he's semi-retired. And that's according to the newly published Japanese conversation translated by Japan-based Push Dustin. Sakurai confirms that he is semi-retired, the translator summarizes. Sakurai felt that if he just continuously made games full-time, his life would be over before he realizes it. Sakurai reportedly adds that he's doing well health-wise, and that he's currently taking it easy on weekends, in addition to running his new YouTube channel in which he shares game design tips. At the time, the game director said he wasn't thinking about creating further entries in the Super Smash Bros. Series. He's translated here stating, "I need to think about whether we should release another Super Smash Bros. Game at the risk of disappointing the users," he wrote. Later in the interview, Sakurai told the publication that he did not believe the Super Smash Bros. Series could continue without his involvement, and he's translated stating, "I can't see any way to produce Super Smash Bros. Without me," he said. "To be honest, I'd like to leave it to someone else, and I've actually tried that, but it just hasn't worked out." He continued, "If we're going to continue with the series, Nintendo and I need to discuss seriously consider how to make it a success." And that's how that's how the article ended. Now, it's always a little bittersweet when talented creators take a step back from making things that we love, and Sakurai is definitely one of those exceptional individuals. But it is good to hear he's in good health and thinking about his future. It also sounds like he's not leaving Nintendo anytime soon either. That being said, his comments about the Super Smash Bros. Series make me think we won't see another entry for quite a long time, or at least not before the next console generation after the Switch. One of the good things is, if you just can't get enough Sakurai in your life, it's cool that he has that YouTube channel that he's still updating. I've never actually checked it out, but how about any of you? And on a side note, how do you feel Sakurai's game output might potentially be now that he's entered his semi-retirement phase? I'd be curious to see if he works on anything aside from Super Smash Bros. But we're moving on here. Recently, the Fami boards, which sounds a lot like a familiar message board, provided us an alleged leaked image of a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch model. And we're going to pull up an article from Insider Gaming titled, "Leaked Images Show Zelda Tears of the Kingdom OLED Switch." And they have some pictures on InsiderGaming.com. But the article reads, "Newly leaked images have surfaced online that allegedly show a new Zelda Tears of the Kingdom OLED Switch. The images were first posted to Fami boards and then reposted on r/gaming leaks and rumors subreddit. It's unclear if the images are real or not, but the images are yet to be DMCA'd by Nintendo, which would confirm their authenticity. It appears the console does not come with the game itself, suggesting that it could release prior to the game's release date on May the 12th. Interestingly, the images show, if real, suggests that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will not be the first title to release on a brand new Nintendo Switch, which has been rumored for some time." And it ends with them saying that Insider Gaming predicts that a new Nintendo Switch console will be announced in 2023, but that its release time frame is unclear. So concerning the validity of the image, the fact it has not been DMCA'd by Nintendo implies that it is not real, but the image of the box itself looks very convincing if you haven't seen it. The article also talks about a new Nintendo Switch, but the image implies it's just an OLED model, so I'm a little confused there. But I do agree with Insider Gaming that we can expect an update on the next generation Nintendo Switch sometime in 2023. And you don't need a fancy insider source to come to this conclusion, as 6 years is about the time it takes for Nintendo to move on from old console hardware. So keeping with that time frame, we're in line to be overdue for a console update, if not at least announced in 2023. Those are just my thoughts though. When do you think we'll actually get a next-gen Nintendo Switch? And speaking of new Nintendo Switch hardware, we have some news from InsiderGaming.com. This story is titled, "A New Mid-Gen Nintendo Switch Was Planned but Scrapped Its Claim." It's been nearly 6 years since the March 2017 launch of the Nintendo Switch, and many have wondered when, if at all, a new version of the console was coming. New Nintendo Switch Pro rumors have been running around for years now, but it has never come to be. Apparently though, it was supposed to happen. In a video posted Tuesday, Digital Foundry's John Linneman said at some point, based on his information, a new version of the original Switch was planned. And he's quoted here. So I think at one point internally, from what I can understand from talking to different developers, is that there was some sort of mid-generation Switch update planned at one point, and it seems to be no longer happening, he said. And thus, it's pretty clear that whatever they do next is going to be an actual next-generation hardware. And that's really the important takeaway from this article. It's nothing new for Nintendo to put out a more powerful version of an existing console like they did with the Nintendo DS or the Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance, among other examples. So it's not surprising that it was at least planned. And most technology enthusiasts have been made aware of how prevalent a problem the microchip shortage is across all industries, so this makes sense as far as canceling the planned Switch Pro. However, I doubt it got as far as developers getting hands-on with a dev kit for the Switch Pro, but I do believe it was at least in the planning phase and then canceled when the chip shortage showed no signs of slowing down. And now at this point, about 6 years from the Switch's release when 2023 hits, it's about the time that they would normally move on from their previous console, and without two separate consoles, the portable and the household, the team has to be cooking up something. But these are just speculation, both from my part and Digital Foundry, and we may never know how far into development the Switch Pro was, so I'm curious to know how far you think the Nintendo Switch Pro got. Let me know down in the comments below. But that's all the Nintendo news we have for today. Let me know your thoughts on any of these stories in the comments section. While you're here, don't forget to snipe the like button, consider subscribing to help the channel out, but most of all, thanks for watching GameXA.